What if a single photo could stop people mid-scroll and make them look twice, not because it is loud or shocking, but because it feels bold and honest at the same time? That is exactly what happened when photos of Christy Turlington wearing a G-string began to circulate. People talked, shared opinions, and asked the same question again and again. Why do these images feel so powerful? Stay until the end because the meaning behind these photos is deeper than it first appears, and the story might surprise you. Christy Turlington is one of the most well-known models in the world. She rose to fame during the Supermodel era and became a face seen on magazine covers, fashion ads, and billboards everywhere. Many people remember her for her calm expression, natural beauty, and strong presence, and she was often seen as thoughtful and serious, which is why these photos created so much discussion. When people hear about G-string photos, they often expect something loud or attention-seeking, but these images of Christy Turlington are different. They are simple and direct with no heavy styling trying to distract the viewer. The focus is clearly on the human body and confidence. And while the photos leave little to imagination, they do not feel careless. Instead, they feel controlled and purposeful, which is why they caught so much attention. The reason these photos stood out is not only because of what Christy is wearing, but because of who she is. She was already respected as a model who chose her work carefully and was not known for doing things only for attention. So when these images appeared, people stopped and wondered what message was being sent. Some viewers felt surprised because they had always seen Christy as quiet and serious, and this felt like a new side of her, while others felt inspired because they saw a woman who looked comfortable and confident, showing that the human body does not need to be hidden or feared. And many fans felt the photos showed strength rather than shock. The images also started conversations about control and choice. Christy was not forced into these photos, and she chose to be part of them. And that choice matters because it shows that being open with your body can be a personal decision and not something done for approval, and the confidence in her posture and expression makes that clear. In the fashion world, models are often told how to look, how to stand, and how to feel. But these photos feel different because Christy does not look like she is playing a role. She looks present and aware, which makes the images feel honest and not focused on pleasing everyone, but on self-ownership. Another reason these photos matter is because they challenge how people think about age and beauty. Christy does not appear unsure or worried about judgment. She stands tall and calm, sending a message that confidence does not disappear as time passes, but grows when a person accepts who they are. Some people criticized the photos and said they were too revealing, while others argued that the human body is natural and should not always be hidden. And this back-and-forth conversation is part of why the images stayed in people's minds, because they forced viewers to think instead of just glance and move on. For younger viewers, the photos can feel confusing at first. But the lesson is simple. It is about choice and confidence, and not about trying to shock. And it shows that being comfortable with yourself is more important than fitting into someone else's idea of what is acceptable. Christy Turlington has always been more than just a model, and is also known for her interest in health, education, and helping others, which makes these images even more interesting because they show that a person can be many things at once: serious and bold, private and open, calm and strong. The photos also remind us that fashion and photography are forms of storytelling, where clothes or even the lack of them can send a message. And in this case, the message feels clear. This is a woman in control of her image, her body, and her choices. As the images spread, people continued to talk about them not because they were loud, but because they felt real. They did not rely on tricks, but on presence, which is why they left such a strong impression. And then these photos are not just about a G-string. They are about confidence, choice, and self-acceptance, showing that being open does not mean being weak, and that sometimes it means being very strong. So the next time you see a photo that makes people talk, pause and think about why it exists and what it is trying to say. Because Christy Turlington images remind us that when someone owns their story, even the simplest photo can leave a lasting impact. And if this made you think, stay with the channel, because more stories like this are coming, and the next one might change the way you see fame and confidence all over again.